What are examples of themes? That your personal statement needs to have one overriding theme, and that all the information that you have in there is part of that theme. This is another example of audience awareness. The person reading your paper has not only read 1,000 applications and is probably really difficult to impress at this stage, but they're also a natural human being. And human beings can only remember three main things after they've walked away from reading something, especially skim reading, the kind of fast reading that they're doing looking for something, right? They're only going to remember three things. So you should definitely not try to tackle more than three issues, right? So those three issues will be part of one theme. What are examples of that? Well, one of them is to decide that the theme of my personal statement is my excellence. I am going to talk about how from day one, when I started my university, I have been committed to excellence in every academic sense. I have taken every opportunity to develop myself. I have attended every talk, talked to every professor, written every paper. I've just done it from beginning to end. When they read it, what are they going to say? This is a solid person, right? This is a person I can trust to drive through and excel. There's another one that you could choose, because you have to understand, applications like this are not just for the extremely academic. We know that. Sometimes in the middle of our university career, we suddenly say, hey, I like this. I want to keep doing this. And our grades in the past few years don't reflect that. So is that it? No, it's not. I'm not quite sure what the requirements are for Fulbright, but I'm sure they're not taking people who have made the top tier of the students in terms of grades. Maybe your alternative will be to talk about your tenacity. And your tenacity as a person comes from overcoming hardships. And so sometimes we see personal statements that begin with a story about personal illness, all right? And how that person has overcome that, even if they've taken a break, and how that has influenced their career choice, the kind of person they are. Perhaps it's turned them into a team player. Perhaps it's made them very, very nurturing of the people in the team, because, you know, we don't just look for leaders. We also look for people who are able to work within a team, people who can follow lead sometimes. Another one is personal passion. All right? And this is slightly different from commitment and excellence, because it's not about a clear trajectory of academic achievement. It's about how truly passionate you are. And you're going to need evidence. If what you're saying is, I'm personally passionate about bringing education to the government, well, what evidence do you have to show for that? And everything that I do is part of that. So I've volunteered, I've talked to people, I've helped people with their applications to institutions like Fulbright. I've done a great deal. And it's all about passion, because I truly believe that outside of Cairo, there's brilliant people, and I want to link them to opportunities. That's a possibility. Another one is a creative goal. And sometimes you will want to start from the very end. All right, and say that I have a goal in mind, and this goal is perhaps a creative one. I want to start an organization, and this organization will do this. And right now, I'm in the phase of my life where I'm collecting expertise for that goal. Another one is enabling life circumstances. And this, I think, is the opposite of this one, but it's also very important. Some of you already arrive at university with an excellent history of, for instance, diversity. Some of you are the children of diplomats, or the children of people who have lived abroad or have lived in great hardship. I had a professor at university who, until he was 8, he was an illiterate shepherd in the deserts of the Sudan, and now he's a professor of literature in the United States. And that's a story of actually an enabling life circumstance. He would walk to the nearest city to attend classes. So perhaps your personal circumstances provide you with certain insights and certain skills. You want to do that. I have a lot to say about this one, because you have to be really careful when you write an application based on life circumstances, not to turn this into a childhood narrative. We'll talk about that more in a second. So as you brainstorm these ideas, I don't know, I'm seeing a few of you writing, consider everything that you think can enable your theme. But remember, you have to just select one. You can't have 5 paragraphs, each one of them proves this. That's not going to work. Okay, it looks quite messy and it doesn't look like you're focused and driven. You really must, now, are these the only 5 themes that exist? I'm sure not. But these are the ones that we tend to see and you can get very positive examples from in personal statements.